My Hero Academia. I don't know if it's just me, but not many people have been talking about My Hero Academia. At least not as much as people usually do whenever there's a new season. I don't know if it's because there's other animes people are more interested in or what, but this season of My Hero Academia is pretty solid. The episodes have been pretty emotional lately, showing us how Horikoshi is able to use realism very well with his characters. I'm seeing a pattern in modern shows lately where this seems to be the case. Examples of anime who have used realism similarly will be Jujutsu Kaisen or Chainsaw Man, although the anime is not out yet. I want to explain why I think the step forward in shonen is a good next step to take. Before that though, I will be saying spoilers for the new My Hero Academia season, so if you haven't watched it yet or you're not caught up to the latest episode, click off of this video and watch it, and then come back to watch this video, because there's some pretty good stuff that happens and I wouldn't want to spoil you. And also remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more anime videos. Alright, so now that the people who haven't watched the season are gone, well, the people who actually care about being spoiled, because there's bound to be a few who don't really care. Yes, you. I'm talking about you. Go click off the video and go watch the season. Do yourself the favor. Okay, now that they are gone for real this time, we can start talking about the new season. Alright, so about Endeavor. He's had monumental character development in this season, with it starting since the end of the last season, when he replaced All Might as the #1 hero. With the media and fans showing doubt that he could actually really replace All Might, it put a lot of pressure on him. And then when he was able to somewhat gain the confidence of the media, when he beat the Nomu, having them see him as a good hero. And that is when his character started to change. He talked with people like All Might on what it really means to be the #1 hero, and he felt lost. He reflected on his life and how maybe the way he did things were not the best possible route, especially when it came to his family. I'm going to talk about a topic that may be sensitive for some people, so I'm just letting you know as a warning sign. Alright, so Endeavor reflected on his abusive habits on his family and saw how he was forcing everything he wanted upon them was a big mistake. He always told Todoroki how his other siblings weren't like him, basically saying how they were failures who weren't able to fulfill his dream. So he isolated Todoroki and forced him to train and do things he would think would help him make him stronger, even getting physical at times with Todoroki's mom. But having reflected on all of that caused him to have major changes in his character. He changed from the kind of stoic cold character that we originally knew to the one that shows regret for the things he's done and tries to change because of that. He himself said he doesn't look for forgiveness because he knows he's not entitled to anyone forgiving him for trying to patch up their relationships, but he wants to try his best to treat them correctly and not be an ass to them from here on out. And it goes exactly like that. He tries to show his family his changes in heart. Some like Todoroki's sister accept it, while others like Natsuo don't, disgusted with how he tries to change after everything he's put them through. And this realistic perspective of an abusive relationship is something we need more in shonen. Not to say that abusive relationships are good. I definitely think they are bad, and I feel bad for anyone who has gone through them. But many anime have characters being in some sort of abusive relationship, but it rarely ever goes beyond that point. They introduce a conflict, sort of like how Todoroki was in the tournament arc, but they don't really resurface it back in the story the same way that My Hero has, which is why I said this new take on it is a great step for shonen, and how Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man share similar elements in their stories as well. Jujutsu Kaisen has many examples, but for now I'll talk about Junpei, since he's the first one I thought of. Junpei was a victim of being bullied at his school for a long time, with Shota Ito as one of the main people who had bullied him, even to the point of inflicting a scar to his face. And with all the feelings he had built up over the years, the moment he met Mahito is when his feelings really started to overflow. He learned to curse sorcery with Mahito's help, and Mahito had taught him basically how killing everyone he was pissed at is a good thing. Then when the moment his mom dies from a Sukuna finger being in his mom's house, he is told that Shota is the one that left it there and is the one responsible for his mom's death, when in fact it was Mahito who was planning all of this along. So then Junpei goes to his school where he knocks everyone out and slowly tortures Shota, filled with all the years of hatred he had against him, which is when Yuji shows up and tries to convince him how what he is doing is wrong, and just when Yuji was about to convince him, Mahito shows up and kills Junpei by distorting his body. The way it is executed isn't exactly as realistic as in My Hero example, but it still shows realism in the character's emotions, with Junpei being a victim of bullying for a large portion of his school life, only to have all the emotions he had backed up and had done something he will later regret. It shares a similar pattern to how people in real life get bullied and eventually do something that they will later regret because of all the emotion they have built up from the bullying. And as for Chainsaw Man, I ought to read the manga, but from what I know, it also has characters that share these very realistic traits. That's pretty much all I have to say on why this step in realism is important for Shonen's next generation of series. An evolution of the ones prior to them, you can say. So yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe as well for future videos. Peace.